What's the latest on the EIDL grant timing? What should you be ready for today and tomorrow? We put together a quick cheat sheet on what you need to know both for the EIDL grants and PPP loans, and what exactly are you eligible for. Hey everyone, this is Ryder from Skip. It's Sunday, January 10th. Some big and important news today. I'm going to clearly explain everything you need to know for both the EIDL grant and loan program and PPP program, and talk about the new timing, which we expect is only hours away, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. But the SBA is required by law within 15 days to have the rules go live. Well, guess what? Tonight is 15 days. So stay tuned and watch until the end. I can't stress that enough. And before you do anything else, if you are not using our free Skip app, it's Hello Skip in the App Store. Links right in the description, or you can go to trackeidlgrant.com, or Hello Skip in the App Store. This is our free app. Almost a couple 100,000 of you are using it. This honestly is the best way and only way, as far as I know, to be on top of what's going on, especially with the EIDL grants and PPP. Let me just show you here with the EIDL grant. Of course, you can see no progress is being made because the new applications aren't live. Currently, no action is needed. And most importantly, you can see if your address qualifies. In a minute, I'm going to talk about the key difference between the $10,000 low-income community provision and the other bucket. I'm going to clearly explain that. Many of you still have questions about that. Our data on our app will quickly say if you qualify or not. Again, it's based on the latest IRS census tract data that we have. However, the one caveat here is that even if this says no, your address does not qualify, you may still qualify. The SBA may issue rules that differ slightly. It's up to the SBA rules, it's up to how they calculate. So this is for illustrational purposes only, to give you an idea of what to expect. That's the main goal. And the PPP tracker, you can calculate how much you may be eligible for in PPP loans. Basically, all you have to do is put down what your monthly payroll is, however you calculate that, and you'll see here what you may be eligible for. We also have recommended banks. Even if you took a PPP in the first round, you have lots of options. You don't have to go with the same lender. So those two are on the app. In the stimulus news, almost 7% of people have received their stimulus check. There's major delays. And in vaccine news, still only around 2% of the US population have gotten a dose. That's around 7 million people. So you can pause this video and download the app. Again, trackeidlgrant.com or Hello Skip in the App Store. Join the hundreds of thousands of others that are already using it. And then consider sharing with a couple friends. I guarantee if you help your friends get $10,000, they are going to thank you. And that's what's at stake here, the opportunity to get $10,000. I'm going to talk about this in a second, but here is why timing is so important. There was limited funding for both pots, but subscribe to this channel. I'd love to see every one of my subscribers get the full 10K, or if you're not eligible for the full 10K, at least part of the advance. And certainly everyone who's using our app right now, I'm confident to say that the funding won't dry up for you. And by that I mean you'll be ready and you won't miss out. The example I'm going to show in a minute, probably 2 million businesses will be able to get the full 10K under targeted, and around 5 million businesses will be able to get more EIDL grants like in the first go around. So there's a limit. We only have a couple 100,000 people on the app, so certainly you can spread the word and tell others. Help a friend get $10,000, help yourself get $10,000. If you're eligible, all of this is pending final SBA rules and guidance, which we expect, if not tonight on the West Coast, perhaps 9 p.m., because that is exactly what they did on March 29th. This form went live at 9 p.m. on a Sunday night, Pacific time. That was midnight on the East Coast. They put this up and it was off to the races. You could start filling this out. And if you applied in those first couple weeks, you were good. So don't stress out about this all day. But again, if you're using our app, the goal of the app is to give you peace of mind so you don't have to worry and refresh and refresh. We do that for you. So here's what you need to know. Okay, so the cheat sheet we put together is based on what's in the law right here. This is a long law, and of course we don't expect any of you to read this, so we simplified it. So let me start at the top here, but this is for informational purposes, and as I said already, the SBA has not issued final rules and guidance. This is not tax, accounting, or legal advice, but it is geared to help you quickly understand what's available to you. The grants are up to 10K. There's $40 billion available in two pots. The two pots are a targeted EIDL advance That's a $20 billion pot. And the emergency EIDL advances, that's also a $20 billion pot. You can always get more info on our app or trackEIDLgrant.com. Do you qualify for targeted? If you have less than 300 employees, if you are in a low-income community, again, you can check on our app. We don't know 100% what definition they will use, but you can quickly check on our app to give you a ballpark. And if your gross revenue loss is 30% or more over an 8-week period, so basically an 8-week period between March 2020 and the end of this year, December 31st, 2021. You know, that's what's in the law, but basically, let's say there was a scenario where they didn't run out of money for this program, then in theory, you could apply in July and maybe take a July 8-week period versus July 2019. Basically, the previous period would be before March 2020. You'd have to show that your gross revenue loss was 30% or more. And, you aren't eligible for the full 10K if you already received something. So if you already got 1K, 2K, 5K, you would basically deduct that from 10K. That's important to keep in mind. Do you qualify for emergency? Expecting similar rules as the first go around, which was 1K per employee. Again, we don't know these things 100% certain, but if you subscribe, as soon as the SBA issues new rules, number one, will tell you to apply. Number two, will clarify what the new rules are. But we expect it'll be 1K per employee, similar to the first go around. And this is geared towards people, the millions of you who applied but did not receive an advance. So maybe the SBA will contact you because they know, of course, who didn't receive the advances because they ran out of funding. So, in that case, I wouldn't be surprised if they say, all right, we have a list of 2 million people. We're going to email those folks first. Give those guys a shot to get the 1K, 2K, up to 10K. In most cases, there was a credit check. Of course, we heard from some of you that you never got your credit dinged. The bar was pretty low as far as we know, and I think there was SBA rules on that, but it was a pretty low credit threshold. They just wanted to make sure that, of course, you were a legitimate person and you had some credit history, basically, to put it simply. So as I just mentioned, why is timing so important? There is limited funding for both pots. By the way, I'm going to put this PDF on the app. Another reason for you to download the app, it'll be under both trackers where you can quickly open this up and use it as a reference guide. So the targeted example, right? So only 2 million business would be able to get that full 10K. That's not a lot. And the emergency example, 5 million businesses would be able to get 4K. A little less than 4K was the average from their first go around. Again, that was based on our data, and the SBA confirmed that. They said that I think in the first go around, 5.6 million businesses or independent contractors and individuals received some emergency EIDL grant. And I didn't mention or put it in the sheet, but of course, independent contractors, if you have 1099 income or you're self-employed, you should be eligible for this too. I mean, those folks got EIDL grants in the first go around, and we expect the same this time around too. So keep that in mind. If it's just you with side income, this program's for you, and the PPP program's for you too, so I'm going to talk about that next. Anyway, what happened is after you get the grant, in most cases, then the SBA would determine what loan amount to offer you. They would offer a loan. These are low interest loans, 3.75% interest for businesses, 2.75% for nonprofits. That's very good. Of course, all interest rates across the board are generally pretty low right now, and the loan was up to 150K. And they reduced that. In the past, it had been up to 2 million, but of course, because of the demand, they said, wait, let's bring it down. Let's make it 150K. Talked to a few representatives and they said, well, they may change that. For example, if you received a loan in the first go round and you tapped out at 150K, TBD, but they may increase that or they may give you an opportunity to get more. We don't know yet for sure. Briefly, as we wrap up on the PPP, because you should not discount this, we had a huge section of people who got both EIDL grants and loans and PPP in the first go around. And some of those people were 1, 2, 3 folks. So don't discount the PPP. And the main reason is more lenders are ready for you and they're going to make it easy. Hopefully this helps. Program is opening up this coming week. It's available for first time and second time applicants. You don't have to go with your initial lender if you're a second time applicant. More info at HelloSkip app. And we also have a trackpploan.com. Again, these links go to a download page to get our app. So if you're wondering where they go, Track PPP Loan and Track EIDLGrant.com both go to our app download. Keep that in mind. For first-time PPP applicants, this is called the first draw, and the calculation is 2.5 times your monthly payroll. Okay, the funds can be used to fund payroll costs, including benefits. They can also be used to pay for mortgage interest, rent, utilities, worker protection costs related to COVID-19, uninsured property damage costs caused by looting or vandalism during 2020, and certain supplier costs and expenses for operations. Eligible entities in the first draw, note this, have 500 or less employees. These include nonprofits, veterans organizations, tribal concerns, self-employed individuals, sole proprietorships, and independent contractors can apply. And in both of these cases, you do not have to deduct your EIDL advance. So if you calculate that you are eligible for $5K PPP loan and you got $1K from the EIDL advance, you don't need to deduct that, so you will be able to get the full $5K in PPP. And these are forgiven, of course. Even if they're not forgiven, the interest rate is only 1%, but if you use it for these purposes and follow the rules, you should get the PPP forgivable loan forgiven. That's why they put it in the name. Second-time PPP applicants, it's called the second draw. Same calculation, 2.5 your monthly payroll. Similar uses as above. Okay, but here are the eligibility differences. You will need to have used the full amount of your first draw PPP loan or being close to using your full amount. Basically, you need to use that full amount. You have no more than 300 employees, so that's the difference for the first go around. Smaller businesses, no more than 300 employees. And this is the main qualifier, that you can demonstrate at least 25% reduction in gross receipts between comparable quarters in 2019 and 2020. I've talked about this in detail already, but basically you could take Q4 2019 versus Q4 2020, and Q4 2020, your gross revenue would need to be 25% less than 2019. Again, talk to an accountant to be sure, just showing you the basic calculation as it exists. Here's how to apply. There are over 5,000 PPP lenders across the country, from Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, to local credit unions, to fintech companies. Many lenders have told us they will work specifically with smaller businesses, sole proprietors, independent contractors, or less than 5-person businesses, okay? We have recommended lenders on the HelloSkip app, so you can quickly see and compare. Again, there isn't much difference. We generally have recommended the fintechs because they're quicker and the forms are easier. Again, they're technology companies, so they were able to quickly put up easy forms for you to drag and drop any documents and make it relatively straightforward. They were pretty easy. You could fill out the form in a few minutes, they would verify it, and in many cases, the money could be wired the next day. So that's what we're talking about here. Also on the Skip app, we will tell you when the banks open up. So tomorrow, it's for first-time applicants to go through community lenders. Again, these are great programs. We are going to continue to cover more grants, more loans besides these two programs. We expect more in the coming weeks and months. We expect new rules to be live later today or late tonight or tomorrow morning. So we want everyone to prepare, and of course for yourself to be in the know and to start tracking this information on our free app and to spread the word, okay? You're ahead of the game if you're using the app, so help someone else get $10,000 as well. They will certainly thank you for keeping them in the loop. We'll keep you in the loop. As you know, we post content every single day. It's on the app here. You can scan. It's about all of the available programs to you and anything that changes. So we hope that helps. As always, thank you so much for subscribing to this channel, supporting us. We hope you stay well, stay healthy, and have a great rest of the weekend.